have a Cody kissing count. Because he was kissing everything. He kissed his brother. He kissed the mat. He just likes to kiss stuff.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't. I also have on here, like, Dustin can take a hit, for sure.
Oh, yeah. That
no matter how old he is.
Sequence where he couldn't get to Cody, and they just kept fucking railing on him over and over and over. Drops, throws.
Dude, that is an awesome logo.
Knee to the face, right? That is pretty cool.
So Lord B just sent me the logo, and it's fucking dope.
And we can we'll throw it up on our page.
Okay. Yeah, the horn or the horns?
Antlers?
Yeah, antlers. Have like the stringy stuff, the colored strings that they had at the bottom of their pants. So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Streamers or frills? I don't know what you really call those. Depends where they're at, I guess, on an object. But
so the beginning of the match was pretty much Cody and Dustin whooping on the Young Bucks. And I thought this was going to be some fast-paced, high-flying, like we saw with the Young Bucks and Luchadors, or the Lucha Bros. But pretty much about 15 minutes into it, I pretty much knew for a fact that the Young Bucks were going to win. Because they are doing the whole, we're going to beat the crap out of you, and then you're going to come back and win at the end.
Yeah, I got that vibe only on the aspect of you don't beat the shit out of or defeat your, I don't know what you'd call them exactly, but, you know, one of your main events. You know, you want to make sure that you live them up, you give them a good story, you show what they can do, and you don't defeat them every time.
Right.
You know, and so that's kind of the vibe that I had coming across that.
So there was I think a pin attempt with, I think it was Dustin on top of one of the Young Bucks, and Matt jumped off and did a senton, like Jeff Hardy. It had a huge Hardy vibe there. It was awesome. I also thought the double moves were neat. A lot of the times when Cody and Dustin were going at it, they were doing the same move with each other. It was like double vision. Yeah,
they both sides I noticed were doing that. They both had synchronized destruction, if you will.
That's a good way to put it.
Where they would double team or fly. Like, I really enjoyed when they, both sides did it. You know, they tagged someone in fresh, and he would hit that guy, run back, hit that guy again, and then do a flip on that guy. And it was real quick, real fast, and it was like, that is really the most effective way to do it, to make sure nobody grabs you from behind. You know?
I really like how I
liked it.
They put your attention towards Cody's head, and then both the Young Bucks fucking super kicked his head.
Twice.
Yeah, and they just looked at him like, should we do it? Whap!
They're like, let's do it.
So the super kick number...
Especially since the announcers just said it, too.
Right.
They're like, oh, he just got those staples taken out. Oh, and that's one thing I want to comment on, too, is if you look up how many staples he had on multiple AEW sites, you know, after it happened, it says 12 staples, but one of the announcers said 10 staples, and I just wanted to clarify it was 12.
Oh,
for
okay,
anyone who, you know, wanted to exactly know.
Cool. I have it written down here that 2-Star Cody was going to hurt somebody. Some of his moves seemed kind of botched. Like he flipped Matt up, and he landed on his like shoulder blades or something. Like if he would have done it a little differently, he would have landed on his back. I thought that when Nick went into beast mode, it was impressive quickness. Like you had commented on before, it was like hit this guy, run over here, hit this guy, hit this, you know.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. J-Dog says that the Young Bucks heels, but flipped after Double or Nothing. And then he has a new name for 2-Star Cody, Bedtime Cody. But Young Bucks won, like I thought. I thought Gold Dust did some cool old school stuff, like the whole, what was it? He like danced in front of his face and then gave him the middle finger and shit. I thought that was neat.
Yeah. I really liked that too. I commented on that over here at my end when I was watching it. I'm like, ooh, I recognize that. And the other one where he always, you know, he's laying on his back and the guy's counting out and he just like pound, pound, pound with both arms on the mat.
Yeah, he did that a couple times.
That's from back in the day. Yeah.
And then the drop down to the ground and then punching him in the face. That's old school.
Oh, and you know, the other thing where the Young Bucks turned some of their moves against them, where they came in like they were going to do their own move and then did the drop down uppercut, and then the vice versa. What is that move called? The road. You'll know the name better than me. It's Cody Rhodes' like stunner finisher move or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the name of it.
Well, the announcer said it a couple times, but it was the fact that the younger brother on the Young Bucks pulled it on Cody.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, he's using his finisher against him. Yeah. I can't remember what it was called, though. Like the road, maybe the Roadhouse? I don't remember what he called it.
Roadhouse.
That'd be a fun name, though. I don't know.
I noticed that the crowd was kind of mixed on it. I also couldn't figure out who was playing the heel, like the bad guy, because it kept going back and forth. Like, originally you thought kind of Cody and Dustin because, you know, Cody got hurt and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, they're going to be the face. They're going to be the good guy. And then, like, Cody hit one of the refs or some shit. And, you know, the Young Bucks were supposed to be
said,
heel.
fuck it.
Mm-hmm. And I think they originally meant for Cody and Dustin to be, you know, the face and have the Young Bucks be the heel. But I feel like the crowd turned it around after they were pretty much beating the shit out of the Young Bucks for a half an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it ended just a little bit after the half-hour mark.
Mm-hmm. There was
not like a minute after, but a little bit after.
There was a 4-way lariat where everybody gave each other a clothesline at the same time. I thought that was going to change the course. Like, then the Young Bucks were going to blow out, but it kept going. The Cody show. It was the Cody show the whole fucking time. It was almost like, and I know you don't watch WWE, but there's a guy, Baron Corbin, and he's getting pushed and getting so much TV time, and he sucks. Everybody hates him, you know? And it's like, I don't know, I feel like Cody's kind of overpowering his, you know, executive power or whatever.
You know, I know he's, you know, executive power, as you said, and it kind of reminds me of, you know, what Vince McMahon does when he, you know, throws himself, you know, into the ring more than he needs to.
Which right now is Shane McMahon is doing that. His son.
Yeah, and you know, what I'm trying to say, though, is at the same time, someone like me or someone like anyone that we're trying to convince or recommend this to might kind of be like me, where they're like, I wasn't sure about Cody, but I'm kind of enjoying his presence at the moment. Like, you know, from my perspective, I'm like, he's kind of fun. Like, I wasn't sure how I was going to take him, but, you know, because he looks awkward. You know, he looks too big for his body. Like, he still doesn't, like he wasn't that big last week. Right. You know, kind of awkward like that. Like, he had a growth spurt, and he's like, where do I bend at? You know, but at the same time, it's like when he throws the punch or gets a hand on the guy, it's like, wow, that was really cool, you know, and I'm enjoying it. But from your perspective, someone who's been watching someone in his position take over like that,
Right.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But, from someone who doesn't watch it constantly and is like, man, this is like old school where it feels legit, real,
Mm-hmm.
and, all that, bringing you back to the nostalgia. I mean, I don't even care. I'm here for the battle. I'm here for the charisma and the connection of you feed him, he feeds you, make this a good fight. And at the end of it, I mean, you don't care who the heel is when you're, my perspective, because I was there for the show,
Right.
where, anyone else would be watching for, a point factor or, something along those lines for, you're rooting for a specific guy because you know him. I don't know him. I mean, anyone listening would know I don't know him because, how many names did I forget while I was trying to explain shit?
Right.
But it's high-flying action, super fun, and it's like the old days.
So you're a Cody fan for now.
Yeah, at the moment, and to be honest, in the beginning, I wasn't sure how I felt about Janela, and I fucking loved him in this one. And the one before, I was like, I don't know, he seems, like, because you judge a book by the cover when,
Mm-hmm.
a wrestler comes out kind of cocky, and then you're like, you feel for him, and then you're like, I kind of like him, So, I mean, next time around, depending on what he does, I mean, it could change, but he kept it active. The whole charisma when you said, he hit the ref, and he's standing there and he looks back and Dustin's like, dude, but then at the same time, he's like, fuck it, let's keep fighting, and it was like, oh, maybe it was staged, maybe it wasn't intentional, or something like that. But at the same time, you don't think that immediately, and you're like, holy shit, and
right. I love how
brought him to another level.
They can fuck with your mind that way, where you're like, was that real? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I like is you have that little like question in your head, but like WWE, it's like that's fake. That's fake.
Yeah.
That's fake.
It's a daytime soap opera now.
Right.
But just to touch on that ref thing real quick, it's because of how the ref reacted, and he checked his teeth to make sure they were still there. Like, It was like a whole realm
his
of
fingers in his
he doesn't
mouth.
give a fuck, and his mouth he could have broke his jaw, he could have clicked his teeth together. The ref made it look real, and that's what sold it. So it's fun. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch the next one, like no doubt. It's.
Right. It had a different feel than Fyter Fest. Fyter Fest, like, rose. Like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And this was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Okay.
Taper, bring it up.
Right.
It came back a little bit, then it tapered back down again.
But the ending.
And then,
where everybody came out, and it's like, oh, we don't have enough time, and blah, blah, blah. I thought that seemed kind of botched. It seemed like that whole part was unscripted.
Well, the part prior was probably scripted and probably would have been great, but for where it came to, like, I love the whole point of what they were doing, and that in itself makes me want to support this for what they're going about and trying to do.
Yeah, give us a little explanation of what happened. They came out with a check.
They came out with a check and didn't show it, because, for whatever reason. And he, explained what it was for, and it was for the victims of Jacksonville, Florida, who were affected by the gun shootings or anything like that. And it was money given. Yes, gun violence. Given to the city, the mayor, and so on, who's going to use it for the people, not for, preventative classes, but to help fix lives that were affected in this scenario. And he's like, this guy gave $5,000, this guy gave $25,000, and $110,000 came from the AEW. It was
right.
It was huge. It's $150,000 check,
and
it was just huge how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyone else when they do shit like that, it's like, here's a $25,000 check max.
Right.
You know, you never hear much. Here's $10,000. You know, all the proceeds from the low seats went to this.